So, this video is about some ordinary gamers talking about his feelings on Bethesda gaming here. So, watch you poo.
Oh, I'm not here to make an apology video, ladies and gentlemen. I think Todd Howard needs to make an apology video. No, I'm sighing because I'm looking at the release date of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, March 20th, 2006. Now, I want to just
Damn, such a good game, but it definitely makes me feel old that it was been this long since that game has come out. I was 16 years old when that game.
preface this and say you could literally start a legal relationship with this game and it would be completely 100% legal. Elder Scrolls Oblivion is literally old enough to provide consent. Okay, some of you people watching this video aren't even that old, all right? You probably are past the release date of this game, okay? You were born after. And if that is the case, then God, do I feel old. Now, why am I showing you Oblivion's release date so hard? Well, I think this is genuinely the
By the way, that's not me or anything wrong with the video. That's just the camera. Sometimes watching his videos, it does this. It's probably because of the sunlight. Either or, what he's saying is still holds true, so it doesn't matter what it looks like.
point where Bethesda truly died and made, stopped making good games. So obviously Fallout 3 is a game that I put hours into, but am I going to say is it as impressive as Oblivion? No. Skyrim was one of those games where if you ever played Elder Scrolls from the beginning, and I played the older games, Arena, Daggerfall, I'll throw Morrowind in because of the combat systems, but if you ever played old school Daggerfall, if you ever played old school Morrowind or Oblivion, I think it's personally safe to say Skyrim doesn't really hold up a candle to it. It's a lot more casualized.
Yes. Some of the older, like I honestly think Oblivion is better than Skyrim. I think the mechanics in the game are better. They really challenge you to pick rather than just kind of shotgunning everything, right? And I think that is good. Like some restrictions in a video game is good. Even though like video games, for example, like Final Fantasy 14 allow your character to play any job or class, but you have to actually like switch over and learn the class and like build up and everything like that. So it is more focused in that way. Like when games do it like that, I feel like it's better because it allows you to focus on the specific things that you're doing that are intertwined with your main class. But when you make it to where you can just unlock everything on the skill tree as long as you just kill enough things, um, while that might be fun at first, it does lose its shine very quickly. And I feel like the storytelling in Oblivion was just a lot better, and the way that they did things was a lot better. And I just wish they would add a little more harshness to their games because I don't want it to necessarily cater to everybody. And it can be done because we had other games like Elden Ring, where they did actually, have harshness in an open world game with almost no HUD or anything like that. And it works. You just have to have good game mechanics.
And I feel like it's a game made for the Call of Duty audience who can come in and be like, yeah, I play single player stuff. I play that dragon game. I took an arrow to the knee. Well, the reason why we're talking about Bethesda today is if you haven't noticed, if you haven't caught on to it, they actually released a new big expansion pack, the only expansion pack for this game known as Starfield. Now, about a year ago, me and collectively everyone on the internet who actually played video games, took off their pants, squatted all over this game, and laid a big giant.
This game is such a pile of shit. And it sucks because I love Bethesda games in the past, like Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4, even to a certain extent, are very good games. Oblivion, Morrowind, Skyrim is even somewhat, good. Like I said, it's good at the beginning and everything. It's just the end game kind of is just you become a god and everything dies. But to see it in the state that it is today is kind of sad, and I feel like it's not just Bethesda though. It's EA, it's Ubisoft, it's Activision, Blizzard, all these big gaming studios just seem to be dropping the ball lately, and I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. They used to make good games with good game mechanics, and they revolutionized things. Why can't we have that again?
And turd sandwich on it. And you want to know why that is because the game genuinely did suck. Now, before there's some people who are out there like, but I really like Starfield, okay? All right, look, I like
Uh,
getting my nuts kicked in every once in a while. Doesn't necessarily make it a generally enjoyable experience for the average person, okay? We all have something we like that is genuinely shit. That being said, let me talk a little bit about space games. I love space games, okay? I wish I was born
I
500 years
love
later so I could
space
fucking
games
explore
as well. I put like 200 hours into fucking No Man's Sky. I love space games. They're so good.
the stars. I'm not. I'm born in 2000. I'm born in 1994, okay? I live in the year 2024. We are a long way away from getting into a goddamn ship and flying our asses to Neptune, okay? It's not happening in my lifetime, and I get it, all right? It freaks me out, but
I know that's one of the things I hate too. That's why I want to be a robot. No joke. If I could be a robot, um, I would.
whatever. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? That's why I like space games. I love playing me some Elite Dangerous. I love playing me some No Man's Sky. And you know what? Even though it's abusive, I love playing Star Citizen. So of course a guy like me would be riled
Yeah.
up, ready to take it in the ass by Todd Howard just to play another game in space. So, anyways, I get myself a copy of Starfield. Let me tell you something right now. Starfield is just one of those games where it has the procedural generation hopes and dreams of No Man's Sky, but it produces quite possibly the most boring reasons to explore any part of the universe. Okay, there's literally no reason to explore planets that are quite literally a centimeter.
Yeah. There's nothing to dig down to. There's almost no enemies on them, and when you do find them, they're easy to kill. There's no reason to grind for equipment because none of the equipment really matters when you can just get the best gun in the game and you're good to go. Like, I don't understand it. Why did it come out like this? It's so stupid.
Of water deep. All right, I'm not even going to use the analogy. Oh man, wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle. No, this shit has less water volume, less depth than the puddle. Okay, that's how boring exploration is in Starfield. In reality, it's like Bethesda made like 6 different maps or cities and just cut them up into pieces and distributed them along the galaxy. That's pretty much the only thing I can put into. Now, Starfield, the worst game ever made? No, clearly not, obviously, okay? All right, obviously not even being the case whatsoever. Spider Solitaire exists, but ladies and gentlemen, Starfield is just one of those games where it was quite possibly so boring that even modders who were making like cooperative mods for older games decided to stop making their mods because they were like, bro, this game is actual dog cheeks. And it is. So a year passes, all right, and look, there's plenty of games that come out with like the worst experience possible. May I remind you about Cyberpunk 2077? That
Oh, that shit was so fucking terrible. Oh my god. And like people just need to leave the old consoles behind, man. You leave those old consoles behind. And if it can't work on the S or the digital PS5, then leave them behind too. But I think the digital PS5 is just basically a PS5 without a disc drive, whereas like the Xbox X is just a weaker Xbox.
that game released and it ran worse than well really anything, okay? It literally couldn't run well on the Xbox One, really couldn't run well on the PlayStation 4, and it required the Series X and the Pro console for the PlayStation 4 to actually, kind of touch that 30 frames per second dream. And if you were playing on PC, yeah, you could get higher frame rates, but no matter who you were, the game was buggy as hell. There was a lot of content that was promised but wasn't actually released, wasn't a part of the game. I'm looking at you, car customization. I'm looking at you, police chases. There's a lot of stuff inside.
Yeah, I they dropped it like again. CD Project Red, big company, well, big-ish company that I mean, yeah, they're a big company. Fuck them. They have a game front that sells games without DDRM or DRM or whatever, in Denova and whatnot. But so they're big enough that they should have known that it wasn't going to work and should have just told the public to not get it on the PS4 or the Xbox One.
Cyberpunk 2077's release that destroyed the reputation of the actual company making it, which
Yep.
until then was pristine and the game was hyped to no end. So, about a year after Cyberpunk 2077 came out, they released the Phantom Liberty expansion and patch 2.0, which literally fixed almost everything wrong with the game. I mean, it's to a point where instead of complaining about Cyberpunk 2077, if you have Cyberpunk 2077, even patch 2.0 without the Phantom Liberty expansion, they have added so much to the game and fixed so many problems and overhauled the game that you genuinely can have a good time playing Cyberpunk 2077. If it was released right now, I genuinely think it could win Game of the Year, okay?
Yeah, they've done a lot of work to bring that game around. I need to replay it. I haven't played it since Phantom Liberty. Is that the DLC? I think.
But that's how a company should take it. If you release an L, you should own it and you should release your full product. I'm not going to give CD Projekt Red like big
Oh, what
praise for
happened?
that. They should have done it in the first place. But instead of letting your game die and fester, they have basically fixed it up and made it a massive IP again. And people are genuinely excited for the next sequel in that game, me included, okay? Obviously, with reservations. That means no pre orders and no overhyping bullshit for yourself. So Starfield, in stark contrast, decided instead of overhauling the game,
God damn
usually
it.
in a
Stop it.
year release of a Bethesda game, whether you look at Fallout or Elder Scrolls the last time they released that, at least in Fallout's case, they would have like, I think it was 4, they had like at least a couple expansion packs or story packs. In Starfield's case, this was the only expansion that was coming out, Shattered Space. So for $40 fucking dollars, okay, $40, we ended up basically getting a couple story missions. Okay, you're talking about a game that you could finish in like 4 to 5 hours if you decided to beat it all the way through. I mean, you're talking about one planet only, meaning that the core actual thing about Starfield, where hey, you should go to multiple different planets and explore the world, that all gets relegated to one handcrafted planet, which granted feels a lot more depthful than like all. That's not even a word, bro. I'm like, Bethesda's cooking me. It's a game that is a planet that has a lot more depth than at least all the
This guy's out here being like, you got to do it deathfully.
other thousands of planets that exist in the goddamn galaxy. Absolutely, at least the only positive perk in my opinion, which again, it's like, it proves that you really didn't need to have all those planets. They could have designed this game with just one galaxy that you would fly back and forth between and just have actual handcrafted planets versus the dog shit exploration we ended up getting with the final release. You end up getting like, I think somewhere around like a couple new weapons, literally a couple new pieces
And see, that's the thing. Like, why didn't we, like, you can procedurally generate planets, right? And that means that you can procedurally generate guns. And these can be done in fun ways. They just need to add things to it. And that's what drives me crazy about these gaming companies because, like, things like Gearbox Studio, when they make Borderlands, the one thing that you can say about the game is that their guns are fucking awesome because they are procedurally generated and generate just random rules for them, like exploding bullets or rocket propelled stuff or a shock rifle. Like it's like, why can't we get stuff like that anymore? Like, and if you can procedurally generate worlds, why are we not doing it with guns? And if we are doing it with guns, then you need a better fucking system.
of like armor. And as far as when it comes to gameplay features, which is something you kind of expect from expansion packs, I want to be honest with you, Chief, no new goddamn gameplay features. So yes, this makes an expansion
Can you even call it an expansion if it doesn't add anything to the game but a fucking planet?
pack, which is priced at the same price as Cyberpunk's Phantom Liberty, suddenly enticable by Bethesda. And they were hyping this up like, bro, get ready to come back to Starfield. We're about to have a banging time. Now, if you look at the reviews for this Dog Water, you can see that it's got a 58 on Metacritic, and I think that's just a little bit too high.
Ah, you fucking flashbang me, dude. Eyes are watering.
You can see that there's literal cocksuckers like Xbox era going, Starfield's first expansion is an excellent dive. Why am I doing the Peter Griffin? Into one of the game's key pieces of lore. There are answers to be had and mysteries to be born anew.
Go fuck yourself, Xbox Air. God damn it, dude. You're just doing it because you're literally part of the Xbox propaganda machine, dude. You be true to yourself. Go play a better video game.
And it's all wrapped up in one of the best looks I've seen in a video game to date. This man has not played many video games. Goddamn. Give this man a copy of Cyberpunk 2077. Fuck, even on the Nintendo Switch, and it would look better than this. This is a solid 10-hour adventure you don't want to miss. Now, I would say that adventure is more closer to 40 hours because, genuinely speaking, playing this expansion put me to sleep quicker than the fucking forklift sections in Shenmue. And I'm not joking there. God damn, this was boring. So, if you're trusting Xbox Era's review, the reason
I'm not like anybody that just straight up is giving this game a 10 out of 10 or whatnot can go fuck yourself.
why I singled them out is this is the same publication that decided to give games like Redfall an 85 on Metacritic, okay? Meaning that when it comes to critics, double check them like you check your news sources, okay? There's always a good chance that an Xbox platform, it's like Sony, like PlayStation review, like a PlayStation review house, you know, not giving a bad review to the worst PlayStation games that come out. So obviously the more accurate thing is something like 50, a 50, a 40 in some cases, which again I still think is a bit too high for an expansion pack like this in the first place. The only actual benefit I can give this
Two.
is that it works underneath Linux pretty well. And that's the only praise that I'm providing. Okay, the fact that it runs under Linux well enough. If that's the only praise I'm giving, then clearly you understand that the expansion pack is quite possibly one of the biggest letdowns out there, which makes Starfield quite possibly one of my biggest letdown purchases of last year's gaming, okay? Yes, this is that bad of an expansion. You know, for that amount of money, you might as well just buy like a Mass Effect game or like the
Dude's in here like Phantom of the Lost or Phantom of the Opera, man, with his fucking lights coming in and out like that. Put him in a mask with them sunken in eyes. Damn, Mudo, you gotta get yourself some sleep, boy.
entire trilogy at this point. I'm sure you can get it for the same price as what they're showing here and have a far better time. Now, personally, do I have any expectations for Bethesda? Did this actually, was I even hyped for this? No, given our Starfield launch and the amount of actual updates they've done to the game, which is, from my understanding, added a land vehicle, which, great. You did something that No Man's Sky did like a year ago. Most exploration games do, by the way. The fact that they added in cleaner map screens, if that's what we're getting excited by, oh boy, do we have really low fucking expectations. If you're going to spend money on this, you might as well buy something like No Man's Sky if you really want to explore planets and actually.
Especially with some of the updates that they have coming out, like new aquatic updates and building updates, and you can explore cities and stuff now. It's getting fucking up there. Like, No Man's Sky is good, man.
Actually play multiplayer and have a good goddamn time. The fact that Bethesda thinks they can charge even a $40 price tag, which I'm pretty sure No Man's Sky alone costs less than this experience by a margin, you might as well spend your money there, okay? And if you're, the thing that I've learned about this is obviously if this is
Also, expansions are free. You don't pay for them.
how much care
In No Man's Sky, not the Starfield. You got to pay for that shit.
and effort Bethesda is putting into their new Starfield IP, I genuinely don't think I have any hope left for something like Elder Scrolls 6 down the road. Given the fact that I wasn't already a big fan of Skyrim because of how over-casualized some of the mechanics were in comparison to previous Elder Scrolls games, I don't even fucking believe that Bethesda is going to put a lying fucking care into Elder Scrolls 6 as soon as that ends up coming out. If that ever ends up coming out. If that ever gets showcased. But ladies and gentlemen, yeah, Starfield is without a doubt one of the biggest disappointments I have ever seen in video gaming, and I actually kind of had a little bit of hope for this. I was thinking maybe they were going to overhaul this, maybe. There was a part, like a childish aspect of me that was like, but Muda, Maybe it'll be like Phantom Liberty. Maybe you might like put hundreds of hours into this game. You might actually play this space game that you were excited for. No, no, I should have killed.
I don't know how this guy has any time for anything. He's got this channel, fucking his own job. He's doing podcasts, and now he's playing fucking video games for like hundreds of hours. God damn, dude, this guy. That's why he's got bags under them eyes. Look at them.
Killed that part, that childish aspect of me, and just grown the fuck up and realized this is Bethesda of now. They're not Bethesda of old. They're not Bethesda in the Morrowind days, that's for sure. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.
But this is why, dude, it's like they get big and they don't know what to do to keep chasing the high and growing up, but like, it just sucks that this happens in gaming for us, right? Like, I wish that there was it's not like it was in the early or the late 90s, early 2000s where we had like Tony Hawk Pro Skater coming out, right? We didn't know any better, felt like. And then we get WoW in 2004 with EverQuest. It's just, we have old RuneScape when it first came out, now old school RuneScape. Like, it's just one of those things that, like, it feels like gaming. Like, there's still good games, don't get me wrong, and there's always gonna be those games that come out and you're like, oh damn, like Pow World and Shrouded, come to mind, but like, it's not like it used to be, where like a game could come out every other year and it fucking rock your cock out. But like, I don't know. Hopefully gaming does get better, and I would like it to stop its torrential downfall.